these people ready. Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. No. Let me see what this is all about. Mm-hmm. 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 Let me see. Mm-hmm. 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 I don't know what that is. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. No, eso está en lockdown. Muchachos, eso no mueve, no le dan, no notification. Yeah. La notificación. No importa lo que tú le digas. No importa. Saludos. Good evening to you. Good evening. We'll be on in a second. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show. This is a public service watch announcement channel, and we try to bring you here the truth and nothing but the truth of what's happening out there in the greasy industry of the watch secondary gray watch market with these Muppet boiler room channels and dirty scoundrels and flim flammers, hucksters, hoodwinks. You know what I'm trying to say? Spoof balls, fleecing people left and right, fleecing people left and right. But why I am here and Kino's here, we're gonna try our best to keep you guys safe, from making mistakes and and getting this deep, we're gonna watch over you guys, all right? So we're gonna ask all of you for a favor, and the favor is to please, give us a thumbs up, If you have some kind of arthritis or something, just push yourself to give it a thumbs up, Help us out with that so the show could expand. I gotta tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know if this is happening because of the way I'm describing things. I say freely that this channel has been blocked, completely blocked from reaching other people out there. It doesn't reach many people. And I've been using that. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe that we've been getting subscribers, coming in now. Boom, 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 coming in, because, it's you got to say the truth. For some reason, we're being blocked. We're being put to the bottom of the barrel, that nobody can see us. And basically they have us like this. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. Allegedly, I think they're opening up the doors just a little bit so I can get a couple of, new subscribers and, thumbs up and all that good stuff, right? So please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And again, I'm telling you, we have been attacked. Our TV antenna, from our studio has been attacked many times, and lately it hasn't been attacked. It looks like, they're loosening up a little bit, on us, just to let you know, right? So again, don't forget to give us that thumbs up, right? Guys, I must say something about precious metal materials, and it's getting scary because we have Thailand, Thailand, the country of Thailand. Thailand has, their eyes are getting tougher on the gold trade over there in Thailand. These people are unbelievable. They're making rules, rules. Rules are not suggestions. Rules are rules. And the people from Thailand have new rules now on gold after, bad swings, rising bullions in the trades, What that means is that basically the government is getting involved in controlling, what they're paying for gold, what they're buying gold, all that greasy, slimy stuff. And you might be asking yourself, why are you talking about that? Because it's gonna happen to a lot of different countries around the world. They're gonna, they're seeing that they cannot control the way gold is behaving, I don't know if you guys know this, but today gold is at $4,177 a troy ounce. Gold is at 41.77 a troy ounce. Today. We're live, Papa. We're live. Yes, we're live. So gold right now is at $4,177 and going all the way to the moon. But like I said again, Thailand has eyes, has eyes on tougher gold trade, tougher gold trades. The government is getting involved. And the reason I'm saying that is because I believe also that is going to happen in this country. Allegedly, allegedly, allegedly. It's going to happen in this country too because gold is going all the way to the moon, all the way to the moon. Silver, ladies and gentlemen, silver today is at $50. Excuse me, $51.60 a troy ounce. Silver, you know, you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much for that. Te dieron un voto, un thumbs up, un dedo parado. So silver also too. And I'm telling you, what's happening over there in Thailand is going to happen in America, allegedly. They're going to get their hands in this, and because gold is about to. You ever had a pressure pot? A pressure pot when you're cooking, and I don't know, you're doing something. You're doing some roast beef or something, and you put it in the pressure pot. It goes. This thing is about to pop, and just go crazy, go crazy, and there's a lot of people that are just stacking up on precious metal materials, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have to keep your eyes open on that silver. It's very affordable, for us people like myself and Sweet Kikino to buy gold, excuse me, to buy silver. Gold is a different story because it's at $4,177 a troy ounce, but silver is at $51.66, so it's very reachable. So don't fall asleep on silver, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just telling you what's going on. I'm giving you something big today about Thailand. What Thailand is doing, they're controlling things over there. They're keeping their eyes open because of rising trades, and numbers and people buying back and forth and going crazy, and the government is involved. And I must say this to you guys because I have to say it. Somehow, some way, our government is also involved over here too, with gold. It's not going to be that simple. They're going to look for a loop, somewhere to get you taken, So I must say that to you guys. All right. So that's platinum is at $1,550 a troy ounce. Palladium is at $1,436 a troy ounce. And rhodium is what they put on these rings, to make it nice and shiny and all that good stuff, is at $8,000 a troy ounce. All right, guys. So you know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, I have always told you about watch shows, watch shows in Las Vegas, watch shows in New York, watch shows in Orlando, Florida, and watch shows in Miami, Florida. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the shows have taken those watch shows. I don't know the names of the watch shows, but those shows all over the states have taken a pounding. The people, they're not, attending these shows because, you have to get room and board. You got to fly wherever you come from, stay in a hotel. You have to eat dinner for a couple of days, and it gets kind of pricey, and people not attending these shows. And I told, like 5 months ago, I told those people from the show, you need to start letting local people into the show, for free. You invite them and you let them in. I said this. I told all these Michiganers out there, invite the people to the show, like they bring in their credentials, their license, their passport, whatever it is, and let them go inside the show and attend the show and maybe purchase a watch over there. But they don't, because that show is strictly made for dealer to dealer. Dealer to dealer. They don't want no outsiders there. But you have this self-proclaimed channel. They're like movie stars, and they even say it. You meet the YouTube crew of the show. You know, they're talking like that. You know, somebody sent me something unbelievable, and it's in our private, watch group. You know, in that book face, and it's there, and you see the guys with walking like gangsters. You know, walking. And the characters are Deputy Butthole Eyes with the Tweety Bird haircut, and his sidekick Jiminy Cricket with the Chia Pet spray can hair, with the baseball cap, hair cap, the baseball cap, guy with the big ears, and they're walking. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna believe what they're doing. They're giving out free tickets. So on January the 8th of 2026 to the 11th of 2026, you can attend the show because they're trying to bring some new lollipop suckers, window lickers, crayon eaters, sandbags, crumb bums. You know what I'm saying? Palmolive dish lickers to go to the show because nobody's going to the show. And you can fool some people sometimes, but you cannot fool them all the time. So this is why they need fresh meat. My advice to all of you who are going to be asking for free tickets to that show: get the tickets and run to the hills. Walk around, because these people are looking to make sales, because la situación está jodida. There's no money out there. Everything has ran out. No more free government money. The free government money has dried up, papi. Hay que pinchar, hay que trabajar de verdad. You got to work now for real. If you don't work, there's no money. You got to work every day. Like me, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning with an eye booger on my eye, a little bit of coffee, get up and go do what I have to do. So these people now are taking my advice. They're giving free tickets to people that want to go to the show because the show is dead. The show is dead. And not only is that show going to be happening in that date of January the 8th or the 11th, you're also going to have the Miami Beach Antique Show, which is something that's been around, I don't know, for 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years there in Miami Beach. So you're going to have those two shows going on at the same time, that watch show in Miami and the antique show. And both of them have watches, So they're fighting. It's a tug of war to see what they can do, bring some people in. So if you are going to go to that show and if you want to go see that poster, you go to our private watch, channel and book face, and it's there. And I'm telling you, you see Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, walking, and his sidekick Jiminy Cricket, the Chia Pet spray can hair, with the baseball cap hair. He's a cap hair, and jumbo whiteout ears. He has a complex, inferior complex. He's unbelievable, that kid. So young and having so much complex is terrible. But you're gonna see that there. These people don't know what to do no more, papi. The watch market is dead. They can keep on telling you all these prices, but I'm going to tell you my prices, which are the real prices, all right? So I hope you understand what I'm saying. This show, ladies and gentlemen, I have over 8,500 subscribers, and I only get 10 organic watch channel subscribers to see my live streams because we are totally on lockdown. I don't understand what the reason is, because what I do is educate my public, because this is a public service watch announcement channel, but they have us on lockdown because they don't want me to teach you no more the tricks of the trade, because you guys are getting smart. You guys are not being no more lambones and palomos, So it's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's an agenda they have against this channel, It's an agenda. But I'm going to give you a watch market update because I have some loyal subscribers who they buy watches and they want to hear some of these prices that they need, so they can cut clips, short clips of my my live stream and send it out to these Michiganers so they can get the prices. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to say. We are in total lockdown and we don't care. Because if their agenda is thinking that we're going to give up, no, papi, no. We only need 2 people here to watch the channel. 2 people, it's good enough for us. We're not going to go nowhere. We don't use no foul language. We don't sell you no watches. We don't sell you no clones. We don't talk about fake watches here, rotor, this, that. We talk about what's happening out there, what you guys need to know, you know? Some of you want to know, some of you don't want to know because you're part of that team. You know, you're part of that team, and this is your livelihood, and basically I'm destroying it. You know, I'm destroying it. But every watch Muppet live streamer, they agree with me already that you have to say that the watch market is dead to get people to come and see you, you know, and drop coins on your channel, coins, you know, nickels, dimes, quarters, you know, because those people want to keep on living, you know. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, some of these people make $10,000 a month, you know, on those things, on those gifts that you guys give them. You know, there's people out there, you know, that basically, you know, they live very well, you know, 10,000, 2,000 a month. These people, they racking the money, you know. It's not like Sweet Kid Kino and me, you know, we make $36, you know, it's for Kino's Pampers for his baby, you know. Anyway, I'm going to give you a watch market update. You know, I want to give you a watch market update, and I want you to put these prices, you know, on your arsenal to defend yourself, right? Our first watch is a Patek Philippe Complications Platinum, you know, green dial, flyback chrono, the 5930, has a retail price of $129,459. Do yourself a favor and protect your children's tuition money, and don't pay more for that beautiful watch. Beautiful green dial, green strap, unbelievable, platinum, you know. Don't pay, you know, complications. Don't pay for that watch more than $91,000, and you know, you do whatever you want. It's your money and you spend it as you please, you know. We're here to tell you what we believe you should pay for those watches, okay? Our next watch, ladies and gentlemen, is an unbelievable watch. It's a Patek Philippe Complications Annual Calendar Travel Time White Gold. You know, 5326 41 millimeter casing. Retail price is $100,721. And I'm going to tell you with all sincereness, don't pay for that beautiful watch. You know, it has a beautiful khaki, whatever you call it, you know, one of those khaki color suede, you know, straps. Beautiful watch, beautiful watch. You know, and you heard the retail price of that watch. You heard the retail price. You heard it, Mr. Premium. You heard it. You heard it. $100,721. And I'm gonna have to tell you the truth. You know, I like that. You know, when gentlemen like, you know, Mr. Premium puts their $74,000. That's good, because when I'm gonna tell you the price, you're gonna go, oh wow. Don't pay for that watch more, and I mean, don't pay for that watch more than $59,000, and you know, dropping. Don't pay more than $59,000, all right? No sean sapos. No sean sapos. Stop being obedient. Stop being obedient to these people. You're lucky you have me. Enjoy me while I'm here. I'm the only one that does this kind of show. It's, so you understand, there's 20,000 that they do their show, their Muppet Boiler Room channel, and there's only one channel that does this show. That's me, and Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you. You understand me? Like right now, Mr. Premium said $74,000 for that watch. You know, for that travel time, you know, annual travel time, 5326, you know, white gold, all that good stuff. And I told you don't pay more than 59. That's how it is. Eso es así, papi. Eso es así. No se pongan nerviosos. Eso es así, papá. El que le guste esto, le gusta profundamente, profunda, fupa, gozando, you know. Eso es así. You don't know what I say? You Google it. I'm not going to tell you. You Google it, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, you know, some years ago, this watch, it was released and people went bananas. It's another Patek Philippe. Grand Complications. Not complications, grand complications. Patek Philippe Gran Complicaciones. Patek Philippe Grand Complications. They call this watch the Celestial. Celestial, you know, it's an unbelievable machine. You know, it's an unbelievable machine. A 44 millimeter, the 6102 Platinum. A monster of a watch. When I tell you the retail price, you know, your hair's going to blow back and your socks are going to fall off, you know. This watch has a retail price. Does anybody know what the retail price of this, unbelievable moon? It's like a moon watch, It's unbelievable. Platinum. It's beautiful, the moon in blue. Una jodienda de celestial, and platinum. Nobody knows the retail price of this watch? Nobody knows it, huh? You should know the retail price of this watch. You should get accustomed to this watch, Porque es un reloj bravo. It's a good watch, Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the price tag of that watch is unbelievable. It's $431,048. $431,048. And there were people out there, you had Big Pun and Heavy D trying to sell that watch to somebody for $475,000. You had the two toddler body brothers out of Miami trying to sell it too for another $500,000. You know what I'm trying to say? You had the Indian brothers from downtown Miami too. You had the two Jehovah Witness brothers over there from the Lone Star State. The Hungry Hippo, Mr. Magoo, the Walrus Fat Bastard, Deputy Droopy, Boxing Black Eyes. They were all trying to sell this watch, ladies and gentlemen. They were all trying to sell this watch. It's unbelievable. They wanted to sell this watch. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you because I am like that. I'm stupid like that, and I have to tell you the truth. Don't pay for that beautiful Patek Philippe Celestial Platinum, 44 millimeters. It's an unbelievable watch. You put this watch in your hand, and the mommies will throw you their dirty underwears. La panty cagá, llena de mierda. Te la tiran. They throw it to you because you have a half a melon. You have a half a melon on your wrist. So the girls will throw you their dirty panties, You know what dirty panties are con flu amarillo. You know what flu amarillo is? You don't know what that is. You have to Google it. I'm not going to tell you. No, Kino, no te meta. No te meta, Kino. No te meta. No. No te meta. Tómate un traguito y no te meta. Don't pay for that Celestial, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay for that Celestial. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous business. Don't pay for the Celestial. And I wouldn't pay, but I'm just telling you, I got to tell you the truth. Don't pay more than $287,000, all right? $287,000. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, here's another watch that you guys got to keep your eyes open. It's a Rolex. Rose Gold Land Dweller. Rolex Land Dweller. Rose Gold with a chicken coop white dial. Chicken coop white dial. The Land Dweller. You ever seen it? The chicken coop, like those, has metals, inside the dial. It's unbelievable. This is a 36 millimeter, ladies and gentlemen. 36 millimeter. And ladies and gentlemen, when those watches came out, they were asking 95,000, 100,000. It doesn't matter if it was a 40 or 36. They were asking these crazy numbers for these watches, Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Land Dweller, Beautiful, unbelievable. Retail price is $43,300. This is the only channel that's going to give you a reference number, and they're also going to give you a retail price for that. Every once in a while, I don't want to give it to you. I want to see you guys work a little bit because I work for free. I don't get nothing for doing this. I just do it for free. So every once in a while, I'll say, no, I'll just give you the reference, and you look for the price retail, But this time I'm giving it to you because I feel festive. It's the holidays. So the retail price is $43,300. That's right. And this, again, Mr. Premium is saying $49,000. And I feel lucky that he's saying that. Again, I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that beautiful Rolex Land Dweller Rose Gold with a chicken coop white dial. Chicken coop white dial, 36 millimeter. Reference number is 127235. Don't pay for that watch. You do whatever you want. Even if you don't want to give me a thumbs up with 17 organic watch channel subscribers and only 8 thumbs up. It's a disgrace. It is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to see you people like that. No te metas aquí, no. Yo sé lo que te estoy hablando aquí, no. Esto lo vamos a terminar. Hello, Mr. Doc. How are you? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for that vote. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, some people were saying 49, some people were saying 50 right now for that land dweller. But I got, tengo bolones de acero. Bolones de acero. You know what bolones is? You Google it. I'm not going to tell you, and neither is Sweet Kid Kino. We're not going to tell you. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean, don't pay for that land dweller 36 millimeter rose gold chicken coop white dial. Don't pay more. And I mean, don't pay more than $42,000 and dead. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. This watch is going to keep on dropping, 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 and dropping. That's all I got to tell you. We've been chosen as the best and as the #1 watch market update show in the world by no other than Futinki. And also by, those Sachs Goldman. Sachs Goldman, we're #1 to them. We're the best show there is, I'm just letting you know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a Rolex stainless steel Submariner, this is one that you should look at right now. This is the Rolex Submariner, froggy legs. We call this one the froggy legs. It has a black dial, it's a Submariner, black dial, and a green ceramic bezel, 41 millimeters. It's an unbelievable looking watch, this froggy legs, nice looking watch. You know what it is, the froggy legs, you have the 40 millimeter, this is the 41, the new one, the new version of the, little oversized bigger. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want with your money. It's your money, and you spend it as you please. But my advice to all of you, don't pay for that watch. Again, $15,000, $13,000. Okay, you guys are doing good. Don't pay for that watch more than $12,700. And you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. You can continue maintaining these flim-flammers lifestyle. If you want to continue maintaining the red gold fast car, the Louis Vuitton Nike sneakers, the ripped jeans, you know what I'm trying to say? The Montclair sweaters, Supreme hoodies, sushi dinners, $17,000 steak dinners, with the guy throwing that thing in the steak like that, like that, it was a t-shirt, he's bankrupt now, le metieron 3 patas por las nalgas, he's done, what I'm talking, he's like 5'3", He made a killing, for, they were selling, tomahawks over there in Pathmark and Costco and BJ's, and he would charge you $17,000. And you guys would pay, porque ustedes son unos lambones. Ustedes son un bonche de lambones y palomos, I'm just telling you what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you what it is. You do whatever you want. You guys got to get, be smart, you understand what I'm saying? El comunismo llegó. El comunismo llegó. The Communist Party came already. It's over there in the Bronx, in New York, Sandwich Mandami, over there, that guy, over there. He's going to give free housing, free food, all that. Esto se terminó, papi. Esto se jodió. You do whatever you want. I'm giving you froggy legs. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Kino, te estoy diciendo que no te metas más en este show. Este es el final mío, Kino, este es el final. No te puedes meter, tú estás bravo porque yo me voy a retirar y tú vas a seguir con el show. You didn't understand what I said. You don't have to understand that. This is between me and Sweet Kid Kino. We're having a situation that is not looking good. Kino is not acting correct. Lately, he's doing things that are not right. Tú tienes que dejar el vicio. He has a bad habit, and we got to control that. Unbelievable, but true. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you here an Audemars Piguet, code 1159. We call this a sandwich, The casing is, white gold, and then it has rose gold in the middle, like a sandwich, jelly and peanut butter sandwich, like that kind of stuff, all together there, It's the code 1159. It's an unbelievable looking time machine, the 15210 CR 41 millimeter, rose gold with white gold. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. I have fun giving you these prices because I like to see you people get agitated, people get nervous when they hear my numbers because, we have a fan base that's unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that code 1159. You're pretty close, Doc. You're pretty close. But don't pay for that Co 1159, sandwich. Don't pay more than $18,500. And okay, my elbow hurts too much right now when I did it before. Let me just, I gotta test it. Está jodido este brazo. I'm letting you know. So you know what's going on. Our next watch, ladies and gentlemen, is a Cartier watch. Unbelievable, this Cartier. Unbelievable. They call it the Roton, the Roton, the Cartier, Perpetual calendar, chrono, 18 karat gold. It's unbelievable, this watch, ladies and gentlemen. With a chocolate dial. Cartier, rose gold chocolate dial. Unbelievable. And when I tell you the retail price of this beautiful, Cartier, Roton, the retail price of this watch is $74,000, ladies and gentlemen. $74,000, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever happened to the Puerto Rican Charlie Brown? Was he let go with the mad scientist? Does anybody know? He belongs to the stable, from Deputy Boxing Black Eyes or Deputy Butthole Eyes with the Tweety Bird haircut, You guys have to let me know. You know what's going on. My wife loves Cartier as well. This is a beautiful Cartier, with a leather crocodile strap, crocodile strap, all that good stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, $74,000 is the retail price. I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell that gentleman that's looking at this watch. I don't care if they're telling you 45, if they're telling you 39. Listen up, sir. No seas palomo. No seas un lambón. No seas lambón. No seas una cucaracha. Don't be a cockroach. Don't pay for that Cartier Roton. Don't pay more than $22,000. Understand me? Don't pay more than $22,000. You do whatever you want with your money. You spend it as you please. If you want to give it away, to the walrus fat bastard, if you want to give it away to the hungry hippo, Mr. Magoo, give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. I'm giving it to you so you guys know what's going on. I'm giving you a healthy watch market update. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you another watch. This is a beautiful watch. I think I have Alex here today. Alex is here today, presente. He's present here today. Saludos, 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 Day, saludos. I think he's here. Alex is here present. And Alex is a very, a big fan. Presente, correcto, present. He's there. He's a big fan of the Sprite, And I'm a fan of the Sprite, and I believe many of you are fans of the Sprite. This is the Rolex GMT. The Rolex GMT Sprite. But there's a difference here. This Sprite is white gold. This Sprite, instead of having a black dial, it has a green dial, White gold, green dial, and a black and green ceramic bezel with an oyster bracelet, Good for you, Alex. Congratulations, Papa. This is a machine. The retail price of this watch is $48,000. I have always told you that even Gucci, Prada, you know what I'm saying? Armani, sometimes they get it wrong. Louis, they get it wrong. They get the designs wrong, And they thought that this watch was unbelievable. We got the Sprite in stainless steel with a Jubilee bracelet, and we got the Sprite with an oyster bracelet, and it's unbelievable, right? Look at this, beautiful. Doc Maker Florida saying $40,000. It's unbelievable. It's a smart man, Doc Maker Florida is a very smart man, intelectual, un hombre inteligente, brillante, brillante. Hey guys, let me show you something, Let me show you something because my wife is unbelievable. Look at this. For the holidays. I made Christmas! I love you, Christmas! See that? Hope. Eh? The best channel in the world, ladies and gentlemen, for free. Only for free. You know who gave me this? My wife, man. Some beautiful. My wife is beautiful. She's beautiful. Look at that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for liking my wife's tree, and she's unbelievable. My wife loves me and I love my wife, unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rolex Sprite GMT white gold, green dial, green and black ceramic bezel, $48,000 is the retail price of this watch, plus your Uncle Sam's taxes. Uncle Sam's taxes, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to tell you this, Doc Mick of Florida, don't pay for that watch. I don't know what you guys have said out there, I don't know what you guys have said. But I'm like that, these people are going to go crazy, when they hear my numbers, they go, man, this guy's destroying, this guy is destroying, the Muppet boiler room. He's, single-handedly, he's rattling it, destroying it, dismantling it all by himself. I said it wrong. With me and Sweet Kid Kino, we're destroying it. That's what they say, that we have single-handedly destroyed it, and don't pay for that GMT. Sprite, white gold, green dial, don't pay more than $42,000 and dropping. Somebody said $40,000. It will be there very soon. After the 1st of January. Drop, 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 drop. They're not like us. All the way up. All the way up. I'm telling you how it is, Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody has to get corrected in life. Everybody gets corrected. I get corrected. You get corrected. Sweet Kid Kino gets corrected. We all get corrected. And these Moshuganas, they have been flim-flamming you and fleecing you for so many years, have to be corrected. And there's a new sheriff in town. And that is no other than Sweet Kid Kino. It's unbelievable, You remember the guy, Doc Holliday? I'm your Huckleberry, with the little cup in his hand. Doc Holliday, he was, in the movie Tombstone. That's Sweet Kid Kino. Just to let you know. Ladies and gentlemen, I spoke to you about a watch yesterday. It was another Rolex. It was a stainless steel. It was a Daytona. Oh, look, my son, look. The Darth Vader. The Darth Vader. The Darth Vader. And I told you yesterday, don't pay for the Darth Vader. The old reference number, 116500 LN. Black dial. Darth Vader. Black dial with silver gauges. I told you yesterday, don't pay more than $23,500. And I'm going to tell you today, because I'm stupid like that and I have to keep up with you people out there, because you guys believe in me, don't pay for that watch more than $22,500. If you're thinking of going to Deputy Boxing's Black Eyes, show, that he has going to have a booth, and in January the 8th to the 11th in downtown Miami. If you're thinking, because he's giving out free tickets because he's trying to generate new lollipop suckers, He wants to, get you guys trained, to believe him. He wants you to be crumb bums and sandbags, and he's giving out tickets. So when you go to that show and you want a Rolex Daytona Darth Vader, you know what to pay. $22,500, and maybe by January it will be at $21,500. I'm just letting you know what's going on. That's all. I'm letting you know what's going on. You do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, our next watch is a Richard Mille RM029 titanium, skeletonized, black rubber, black dial, everything. It's unbelievable, this watch, And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want, but don't pay for that beautiful RM029 titanium skeletonized rubber, black rubber. Don't pay. They have it out there for $115,000. $115,000. But that's not the truth. The truth is what we're going to say. I said it wrong. What he puts down is the truth. Whatever he puts down the paper and I read it, that's the number. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean, don't pay for that watch more than $97,000. You do whatever you want. It's your money. You do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about another watch that, a lot of you are very excited about this watch. And you feel like this watch is going to go to $300,000. But, the only $300,000 you're going to get is this. You're going to get this perk. This is a perk. You're going to get this perk. You line up and we give it to you. You line up and they give you the perk. Here, But no, get out. Move on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Rolex Yellow Gold Sky Dweller Green Dial 42 millimeter with a Jubilee bracelet. Reference number 336938. Jubilee bracelet, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable time machine. And I'm going to tell you, don't pay for this watch. Whatever you do, don't pay for this watch more than $66,500. Okay? You do whatever you want. Yellow, gold, green dial. It probably has the most beautiful green dial in the watch, in the watch business at this moment, at this moment. So you do whatever you want. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go to my final two watches of the evening so you guys can continue skip hopping around through life like bunny rabbits. It's an unbelievable watch. It's a Rolex Rose Gold. Rolex Rose Gold Daytona, 40 millimeter. Unbelievable time machine, It has a black dial, has a black dial with white gauges, white gauges. It's an unbelievable watch, Rose Gold, they call it the Le Mans. They don't even call it a Daytona. They call it a Le Mans, and the retail price of those watches, white gold, all those colors, the $50,000 was the price of those watches, And I'm gonna tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that watch went all the way up. It went all the way up, ladies and gentlemen, all the way up. But I gotta tell you, it's settling down in my watch market update feel, Don't pay for that watch, for that beautiful Daytona with the black dial and the white gauges, Le Mans, Rose Gold. Don't pay more. I mean, you do whatever you want. It's your money. The reference number if you want is the 126525LN. It's a new reference, Beautiful, beautiful watch. And I'm going to have to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Don't pay for that watch if you want it. Don't pay for it more than $213,000, all right? Papi, there's not money in the streets. There's no money in the streets. And let me tell you, smart money is staying away from luxury goods. And that's including the rich. Those are the first ones. They're staying away, So, no sean lambones, all right? No sean lambones. And ladies and gentlemen, this is my last watch market update of the evening. This is an Audemars Piguet Rose Gold Cold 1159, reference number 15212NR. They call this watch the Star Wheel. It's a beautiful watch, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. Out of that Cold 1159, probably this is the one you put on, you walk through the beach, and the mommies throw you there, they throw you their toupee. They throw it to you because it's a beautiful watch. It's the Star Wheel, it's unbelievable. Cold 1159. And they're asking for that watch out there, 81, 78, 77, They're asking you for those numbers. But in this channel, we give you the real numbers. Don't pay for that beautiful AP Rose Gold, Code 1159, 15212, Star Wheel, Star Wheel. Don't pay for that watch. Very good, Mr. Premium, very good. Don't pay for that watch. Let me tell you, very good. You're under than what I'm going to say, but you're in that number, that 58. Don't pay for this watch. Don't pay more than $66,000 in dropping. All right, guys? There it is, guys. You have a nice watch market update. I spoke to you guys about precious metal materials. I talked to you about what they're doing now. That, all these, these Muppet Boiler Room watch theaters, they go to these shows now. They're inviting local people from the streets to come to their show because they don't have no more clients. So now they have to drag you in, They have to fish you in now. So, this guy by the name of Deputy, Black Eyes, Deputy Black Eyes and his sidekick, Jiminy Cricket with the Chia Pet spray can hair and the baseball cap hair. Has a cap with hair, They're doing a show on January the 8th to the 11th in Miami, Florida, and they're going to be giving you guys free tickets if you want to go into the show because that show is dead. That show is dead. Está muerto, papi. Está muerto. The show is dead. So this is the way they're trying to attract people in by giving free tickets to go to the show. You get the free ticket and you run to the hills. You get away from them, They're even saying that they are the stars, you know. On the poster, they're walking, you know, like this, you know, like Starsky and Hutch, you know. They're walking, you know, walking together. One has his head up with the black eyes, and the other one with the big ears is like that, you know, walking. If you want to see that poster, you go to our private, you know, watch channel, and it's there. You know, one of my organic watch channel subscribers put that there, and it's unbelievable. They're giving free tickets. So, pero no sean lambones. This is to get you taken because they don't have no more action. He's dead. He's dead. All right, guys? He's dead. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight in Sweet Kikino. We hope you enjoy this. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And like me and Kino say always, take care and brush your hair. Take care, guys. A little bit of music here. I'm in a festive move, man. I'm in a festive move. Good night.